Give just a few more minutes for everyone to show up. We fell into that bad habit probably a couple of years ago. We've been doing these community updates for so long, but we give everybody just a couple of minutes to get back in. I know some folks are coming back from lunch and getting that time started. So anyway, that's become a cushion. Hopefully you're counting on that. Maybe if you're one of those more timely people, these couple of minutes here will give you a little bit of breathing room, glance at some emails or something before we get started. So we got a few folks jumping in. Again, we really like and enjoy seeing this. The participation that we get worldwide from our members is really appreciated. So we enjoy this. And I know we see a lot of what we call the champions, you and your organizations that are kind of driving this process and maybe specifically the tool. But do feel free to invite some of your staff into these. We hope we are delivering some conversations or having some conversations with you guys that will really spark a little bit more in the way of conversations with your clients and what you can do. So in some small way, if we can help contribute to the success of your team on that, that'd be really great. All right, we're almost ready. Just a moment. It is summer in Texas, and so I had to step aside and get a little ventilation in here before it gets too warm. All right, we've hit our buffer window, so let's go ahead and get started with everyone. So welcome everyone. This has the potential to be a much shorter community update because it looks like you're just going to have me. I was chatting with Adam earlier. He's on vacation. And he kept threatening to show up from poolside or beachside, wherever he's at, and kind of tease everyone and give us a hard time about being able to take a vacation. I'm glad he got away. He made some comments in our newsletter went out earlier this week about the value of vacations, and I think it's all very, very important. Also, probably limiting our length here today. I am still struggling with my voice. If you were on last week, you notice I kind of quit talking about 2/3 through the meeting because I just couldn't finish sentences. So it wasn't intellectually this time. It was just physically I couldn't talk. So we will, I'll try to keep it low. Hopefully I'm coming through clear enough, and we'll dive into it today. So we are in Q2, we've been heavy into the services cycle. We went architecture or infrastructure in Q1. We're tackling services. We've got a lot of information now. If you have gone through and done the architecture and the services assessment through your clients, you have a tremendous amount of information to work with in your clients. And it's not that you need to sit down and go over all this information with them. We really need to sit down with our clients and talk about the results. We've done these assessments. What does it mean to their business? And again, I'm trying not to make a soapbox out of it, but I am becoming more and more confident that for many, many years, I know me personally, and I think a lot of other MSPs kind of in the industry in general, we have this mindset that we need to educate our clients about technology. And again, I had a lot of success in my previous roles and in previous engagements because I had an ability to sit down with clients and explain technology in terms that they understood without making it stupid simple or just, coming up with silly analogies. That we could really just kind of break it down, and I didn't get too complex. And I got a lot of positive feedback from my team and my customers about how that was valuable. But I'm kind of realizing that even though it was valuable, even though it was a good thing, it might not be the right approach we need to be taking with our clients. I feel, again, ever more confidently that we need to be flipping these conversations, at least a few of them, okay? Full disclosure, not every conversation needs to go this way, all right? We're still opening tickets. There's still a lot of technical work that needs to get done. I'm not ignoring that. But we also can't ignore the fact that we need to shift our conversations where we understand our clients more and are really aligning to what they need. They can get technology everywhere, all right? They can find support everywhere. The quality that you're able to deliver, yes, that's in your wheelhouse. That can be your differentiators. But even quality technology, quality support, if it's not aligned with their business goals, it isn't going to do them any good. All right. And if it doesn't do them any good, you're just going to be seen as an expense, your electricity. All right. And utility bills, what's the common goal for everybody when you look at a utility bill? How can I make it less? Right? How can I spend less on my utilities and still get the electrical service and still get the IT service, still get, whatever it is you're looking for, just at a lower cost. So in turning this around, we're going to, like we mentioned in the newsletter, we do try to set some agendas for us. That's a good practice. We're trying to walk that out with you like you would walk out with your clients. So we've done assessments to understand what they have in Q1. We're well into Q2. So now we should be getting a much better understanding of how they're using their what. Now it's really, really time. This is a really good opportunity. We want to do this again in Q4 when we talk about when we have our strategic sessions, and we'll actually want to go deeper into that. So I'm going to touch on a few things here that we'll really want to expand on later in Q4. But right now, we really want to understand what their business is doing, begin identifying goals, and making sure we're aligning these things so they're successful. So how do we do that? All right, let me share my screen here. I think I've got the right stuff. Oh, hold on. I've got a million things open. I probably ought to whittle this down just so I don't create problems later on. Lots of knowledge-based articles. Working with our team. We do have some great information in the knowledge base. So if you ever have questions, I get impressed. Lots of times I go out there and there's a mountain of information. And I tell some people sometimes the knowledge-based articles know more than I do. So take a look at those. But again, we're available to you as well. I don't want to say, hey, don't call me, read the, it's not a, what is it, RTBF? What's the acronym there? Not getting that off the top of my head. Somebody will send it to me in chat. It's not that, but that can be a quick resource. RTFM. There we go. Thanks, Paul. I'm not saying that at all, but just a side note there. We do have a lot of information out there available to you. Okay, so I think I can share this now. No, wrong button. There we go. All right, I'm trying the fancy schmancy deal. Hopefully the quality is coming over. I'll switch here in a minute to make sure that we're getting the better quality. But from this, looking at a high perspective, so now we've gone through, we've got our services assessment and we've got our infrastructure assessment. Those have both been done. In this client, we already have a strategic assessment done and we already have a cyber assessment done. So from this client's perspective, this would be one that we're already past the first 12-month cycle. All right, so we're moving into the second phase. If this is a newer process that you're going through with your clients, you may only have IT services and infrastructure run, and that's okay. All right, I really like that. Even from the dashboard perspective, if we're looking at this, we're seeing a lot of members use this dashboard screen. I'll even maximize it there. We're seeing a lot of members use this dashboard screen as kind of the launching segment or the segue section even of their meetings because it's very adaptive. You can talk about a variety of things. You can obviously see the big picture, but in this case, we've got all of them here, but we may be looking at a client that looks like this. All right, Q2, all we've done is architecture and service, risk is blank, and strategy is blank. I don't mind those blanks. I think even from this perspective, it allows you to set expectations with your clients and say, hey, Mr. Customer, just let you know where we're at. We talked about architecture in Q1. We've been knee deep in the service assessments. We've been, emailing you back and forth about a couple of things. Just want to let you know, next quarter, we're going to dive into risk. We're going to go through an assessment process on that. And then at the end of the year, we're going to come back with you and we want to talk about strategy. We want to make sure all of these things that we've been doing over the first 3 quarters is really lining up to what your business needs and where your organization wants to go. Now, the back end, here's a couple of cool things. All right. The risk assessment. Right now, ours is primarily, we see most people using our NIST template. All right. That might not work for everybody, or that works for you, but wow, NIST can be a lot of work and you just haven't tackled it yet. Okay. That's okay. We're not saying you have to eat the whole elephant at once, right? We can set expectations. We'll be able to dive into that a little bit later. And we've provided a roadmap for our clients that says, hey, we're really our strategic partner, and this is how we're doing it. So there's a lot of really good stuff here. But in this case, so I'm going to switch back to I'll switch back to our reports view, and we're going to jump into the strategic review, because this is going to be the source of some of our information. And again, if you're early in the cycle, the 12-month cycle with your clients on this, you may not really have this report all fleshed out, and that's okay. All right, but there is one thing that I do really expect that you need to get done, and that's this executive summary. All right, this is something that needs to be tackled early on in any engagement, at any time, and it needs to be a constant sort of process. I whenever possible, I like to at least show this executive summary and have the people in my engagements look this over and make sure that we're still on the right track, that something significant hasn't changed in their business that would change this summary. So we're looking at, a really short bit of information here. We get, some good details. Let me switch here so you guys can see the detail now. We'll just share. That should look a little bit better now. All right, so down here, we're looking at this. They've mentioned stuff about their warehouse being too small, about this year being a building year. They're really looking for a lot of aggressive growth and a lot going on in 2023. So those are things that I need to know about, all right? Whether we get into a lot of the details or not, it doesn't really matter, but I need to know about some of these items. And so from this, I know how to kind of talk or at least focus some of my conversations. Right off the bat, this current warehouse is undersized. This is something I need to be checking in with them regularly. Hey, last time I heard you guys were about to sign a lease on a brand new warehouse. Have y'all been able to get that done? What's it look like? We want to stage gear. Obviously, there's a lot of challenges right now with supply, and you want as long a lead time as possible to make sure you have the appropriate gear on hand for your clients. So you're going to need to have those conversations early on. So executive summaries are really important. Remember, don't copy the about section from their website. It's the worst thing you can do. They know what that is, right? Write your own executive summary about them. Make it simple. Make it straight to the point. You don't have to have a lot of, marketing language in there. It doesn't have to be really snazzy. It needs to be clear enough so that your clients know that you know what is really important to them, what is top of mind. All right. as we go through this, I'm doing both roles. Adam and I share this normally, but I will keep an eye on the chat here. So if you guys have anything else, please drop that in the chat, and I'll get to that. All right, so there is the first element of where we're getting some of this business perspective coming from. I'm going to drop down to our SWOT analysis. Again, this one is a little bit more fleshed out. This is, one of our demo ones, and this one would be in a scenario where we're into that second 12-month cycle. But you can do these at any time. Now, we'll talk more about this in Q4, all right, because we do think the SWOT analysis is great. There are others out there. We'll probably talk about them in Q4. Some of the, Adam likes talking about it. I always forget the name, the Forsner's 5 Forces. It's a popular one. I think I got that name right. There are a variety of things that you can use to capture this. I like SWOT because it is super simple. So start small. All right. You may not feel comfortable sitting down with the entire executive team and doing a SWOT analysis right out of the box. All right. If that's the case, pick one person as your client and go through a SWOT analysis. You'll at least get a perspective. You'll at least have a starting spot. All right. And then, again, we'll talk about it more in Q4. You may want to come around and get the whole executive team. There's a huge value in doing that. It's actually really easy to do. So I'm excited about doing that. Even though it's a few months away, I'm going to try to not get in there too much, but we'll jump in there. All right. So let's look this over just real briefly. I want to, again, this is not, a steps 1 to 10. This is how you do it. All right. This is the process. This is the thought process that you go through when you're looking at this. So we're looking at their strengths. I'm seeing stuff about referrals. They seem to be connected, with their industry. That's going to be a lot of organizations. They've got some weaknesses here. It looks like some overseas stuff. I'm seeing custom jobs, product customization. All right. So there's something unique. They're not just moving box from warehouse to retail store. There looks to be something else going on here. All right. So a couple of things that just, for me, jump out immediately. All right. And I don't really have to be the expert in their business. Again, I'm going to say that again. You don't have to be the expert in your client's business. They are. All right. But I'm looking at this. All right. And I'm looking at, I'm using my experience, with technology. I'm thinking overseas. Where overseas? Because I know I've gone into the firewall, we've gone into their Microsoft Office configurations, and we may have gone in there, and as our best practices, we may have blocked certain areas where this company is going to be doing business, or is doing business, or maybe going to do the business. So I may need to ask some questions here. Where are your distributors? Where is this overseas problems that you have? I may want to ask, do you travel over there on occasion? Do you have to go to these remote factories? That could be really important, because if I, again, lock this down geographically and we don't have this conversation, they put what would probably be some sort of senior staff or maybe an executive, they put them on a plane, send them to the other side of the world. This guy gets off the plane, fires up their devices, and they can't get to anything. Why? Because we locked it down. We did the responsible thing. We did the geographic protection back there. All right. So this right from the start generates a few questions. All right. A couple other things, this customized jobs, product customization. I may want to ask how do you do the customization? What's involved in that? Again, I'm not trying to really understand how they do their job. I just want to understand what's the components there. And they go, oh yeah, we've got Bob over there. He's our creative guy. He has bought the all you can eat, subscription model from Adobe. And he goes and he creates all this great stuff for us. And then we hand it off to the factory, or, whoever's doing this custom stuff. That's cool. All right. That gives me a little bit of information that, hey, there's some really important software out there for those guys. And again, going back to my experience, knowing how a lot of the stuff works, I may want to ask, did Bob register that software license under his company email address, or is it his personal email address? All right. We know that's never happened before, right? And if he has done it under a personal deal, do we have access to that? If something happens to Bob, are we going to lose the licensing, the maybe thousands of dollars these guys have spent around this licensing? Maybe we should kind of get a little bit of control into that. Maybe we need to create an asset item in our asset inventory that tracks these licensing. Maybe there's some additional, we can do a little research in there and we go, because we pick up on the fact that they say, yeah, Bob does it all. Bob's the only one that's got all of this access. Bob's the only one with the software running on a system. It could be really easy for us to look out there and go, for just a few dollars more, we could get you guys a group license, and everyone in your organization could at least have a little bit of access to this. All right. Easy, simple, technical stuff, right? Geolocation security and software licensing. We do this stuff all day long. All right. But we just need to understand, how's it going to work with our clients? This shows us. All right. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about where we put some of these great ideas or great thoughts to pick up on. I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to talk about this initial thought process that we go through. So looking over at a couple of things, I don't spend much more time on this, but they've got several other items listed here as their opportunities and their threats. Again, each one of these bullet points. And you've probably heard me say this before. If you worked with me when we were creating content, Skip has a hard time with complete sentences. All right. I intentionally won't read the closed captioning we have in all our video stuff because it highlights how poor my grammar is, aside from my Texan. All right. So I love bullet points. And the easy thing about bullet points is they're easily moved around. Sentences are harder to move around. All right. I'm kind of down in the weeds here, but bullet points are really easy to move around. So we look in some of these other things here. They've got one here that they have access to dozens of prospects at local and regional tournaments. Okay. Do I know that coming into these guys? Do I know any of that? No, but we went through the SWOT exercise. This was listed as an opportunity. And I go, hey, cool. How are you engaging with those prospects? All right. I don't really know. I don't have an answer for that, but I just listen to what they say. And they go, oh, we throw up a plastic 6-foot table over in the corner and set a bunch of boxes on top of it. I go, cool. Have you thought about doing something snazzy? Would you like some technology? Because our inbox always has something about some sort of digital media deal, some sort of digital marketing aspects. And we could easily position some technology in front of them that says, hey, we could throw up a big screen and you can have your logo, or, showcasing different items or different schools that you guys are working with. All sorts of cool ideas that, again, technically we can do really easily. Maybe we want to say, hey, would you like to stand up a free Wi-Fi access while you're at these and let people that are there connect to your Wi-Fi for free? Like, well, why would I do that? And you go, well, when we do that, we can have them log in to get access. That's really simple on our part, and we can get their email address. All right. It's not going to be any stretch of the imagination to say, hey, if I can collect a bunch of email addresses, now I can add them to my marketing list. Whatever it is, there's lots of opportunities that we can look here and go, hey, we've got some technology. It could do a couple of things like this. Would this be valuable to you? Could you leverage this to do your business better? Right? And they're going to be able to fill in all the nitty gritty details of, oh yeah, that would work. This one wouldn't. We would need this particular field. So we capture, we want to, if they're going to sign in, we want to know what school they come from. All right. Whatever it is, those are things that are important to them, but we can position the technology solutions in there really, really easily. All right. And the last thing I want to look on, because I key off on this one, another part in this one, as a threat here, they're saying, hey, we're located down here on the coast in Texas, and, hurricanes come through. They're pretty regular, and they can be a bit of a nasty headache for us sometimes. And we've noticed that it can really disrupt our operations for a few days at a time. And, unfortunately, these hurricanes kind of, always tend to get in sync with whatever we're going on. So it seems to, hit us during our peak times. So that's a threat to their business, right? And again, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wow, we can fix this. Wireless failovers for internet connection, battery backups, cloud hosted solutions. There's all sorts of technology that we can put behind mitigating this threat that we have here. So we've had this great conversation with our clients. All right. Depending on how talkative you and your client are, is going to entirely determine the length of these. Some of them can be really short. Some of them may be a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, this is great information about your clients. What do we do with it? All right. In some aspects, we can go super simple. Remember, our content widgets are incredibly flexible. Maybe we come down here and, again, we go with my favorite bullet points. We start listing out things. We need to track the software license. All right. That may be something we need to get into. Whatever it is, we can start putting those in here as things we need to work on. Sometimes we may use these as notes for ourselves. We can use this as a note feature. Remember, you can use the slide out bar on the side here as note features. You can create tasks for yourself. All right. Maybe we need a task here that says review the software license. All right. And now we've got it to do for us. So I didn't click save on that. All right. But so now we've got a quick to do that is going to take, again, this great business information we have and give us some action items. It gives us it feeds into our next steps. One of the other areas we may want to do is, after we've done this, we may want to go back and look again at those assessments we've done, both architecture and services, and to really dive in and see, hey, given now that I know a little bit about their business, do we have the right solutions in place? All right. They say they're a small shop. All right. Are they managing their security properly? Well, we'll get in that one next. I don't know. I'm kind of having, I'm doing this on the fly, so I'm having a little challenge coming up with some good examples. But we want, again, take what's important to them and then look at these assessments and make sure we've got the gaps identified and the alignment is beginning to really come up with a structure there. All right. So we've gone through this, but we've got some to-do stuff. Maybe we did this, last month, and we're sitting down with these guys again. Now it's really time to get into a bit of the meat of maybe some of these. So I'm going to look at, I think I've got it here. Actually, no, I'm going to go up here and just look at their master roadmap. All right. We can do this from within the reports. Obviously, you can look at the project roadmaps. I like, there's some flexibility. Keep this in mind. When you look at project roadmaps from within a report, don't forget about that little flipper bit that is up at the top right-hand corner of that project widget. We flip it one way and it says, hey, these are all of the assessments. These are all the projects based on the assessments in this report. And it works really good to narrow in your scope. If we're just looking at products they need to have, that's going to be off the architecture. We can narrow that down. If we get in another conversation with them, maybe this list is getting kind of long. And every time we talk to them about it, we never kind of get to the end because we've got too many objectives, too many items on the agenda. Use that flipper bit to narrow the scope on that. Okay. But in this case, I'm looking at their master project list. So I see everything from this one perspective. All right. And I'm looking down here and I've got one in here, manage severe weather events. All right. I really like this one because it is super, super practical. And it's one that, while from a technical perspective, we think about it, we work with it all the time, but are we really doing it the right way? All right. So we've got UPSs on all of their systems. Great. All right. We've even got it on the servers. We've got it. We spent a little extra money, so we had a little more current load that we can push. So we've even got a laser printer over there that's running on that because they decided their laser printer was super important. That's all cool, and that will work. The lights blink, everything's going to stay on. But what's the runtime on these batteries? All right. Do they have enough battery backup to meet their business needs? So we don't know, obviously, right? If you're asking one business, they're like, hey, once the lights go off, 15 or 20 minutes with the lights off, and we're packing up and going home. We're done. All right. You may have other organizations like, no, man, we've got worldwide customers. We've got 24-hour operations going on. The lights go off. Our folks are just going to have to put a headlamp on, and they need to keep working. All right. At least we have systems that need to keep working. Now we've kind of, I think, lost the perspective on this a little bit because so much is now out in the data center, right? And those guys have ridiculous amounts of redundancies, but there are levels down below that we need to talk with our clients about. And in this case, we've got a simple one here. They've decided that, hey, really all of our team needs to be able to run for at least 4 hours. They need to be able to, if the lights go out, they need to be able to say, hey, we need to go in and check open inventory. We need to reach out to some folks that we have pending business with and say, hey, we're having some weather issues out here. We may be a little bit difficult to contact. Here's my mobile number. We may need to get access to those clients, maybe copy some stuff. I'm going a little too far in the weeds there, but there's a lot that can go on. We just need to make sure that we position a technology solution that supports their business. So in this case, we have taken our deploy standard UPS solution. All right. That was our templated deal. We've got all kinds of great stuff. What I'm opening up here, probably should have clicked on. This is the default. All right. This is what pops up. You have the opportunity to brand these, to put specific deliverables if you want to put in here. Again, bullet points. All right. Wipe this out, put whatever you want in here, the descriptions, all of that. But in this case, so let me get back to where I was. Sorry. All right. In this case, I've already customized this a little bit. And I said, hey, we need the 4-hour runtime. And now I've gone up here and I've said, we've renamed this project to manage severe weather events. Right? It's a small deal, but it is incredibly impactful because now when I'm looking at the roadmap with our clients and we're talking about managing severe weather events. All right. And if we had this out here and let's go Q4. All right. If they were kind of thinking in that old mindset of, hey, I need to reduce technology expenses. What does everybody do? All right. If they can't get it lower, let's at least push it out. Right. I'll pay for that later if I don't have to pay for it right now. But we look at this and we say, you guys were talking about rolling out the new battery backups to everybody in Q4. That's after hurricane season. All right. And of course, you never know when you get lucky and you've got some storm brewing out in the Gulf of Mexico and you go, hey, do we need to change this? Do we need to get this going? Maybe flip down to your monthly view and say, hey, we need this right now. All right. And again, that's identifying a business need with a technology backing, and it sets expectations. And as a client looks at this, they're going, I'm not spending on technology. I'm not buying batteries. Who wants to buy batteries, right? What they're looking at is, hey, I'm protecting my business from that hurricane that's brewing out in the Gulf, all right? Completely changes the dynamic on that. So hopefully I can wrap this up here. Went a lot longer than I thought, but a couple of ways to go through, and really you've done the assessments. So now you know what's out there, you know how they're using it. Let's have a conversation with our clients. Maybe this is kind of a mid-year mini strategy session. If you haven't done a strategy session, it may end up being a little bit more, but I think once you kind of get up and rolling, these can become pretty quick conversations. And sometimes once you kind of build the big asset, like the SWOT analysis, again, a reminder that, stay tuned for Q4. We'll really dive into that there, but maybe you sit down and you review their SWOT on a quarterly basis. And we say, hey guys, here's your SWOT analysis that we did last year. Anything change on this? All right. Great opportunity to re-engage, to get fresh information, to kind of reload this information. let them move things around, let them add or take things away. It'll be really cool when you see threats on there and they go, yeah, the hurricane stuff, that the hurricane, big storm rolled through last week. We didn't have any problems. And you go, yeah, that's right. We got all of those UPSs installed. All right. And you get to highlight that threat and hit delete. All right. And so now the client looks at that and go, wow, they just removed a threat to my business, to the way we work. These guys are really great. They really helped out my business. So this is the view we need to be approaching. We have great technical stuff. Again, I want to restate, we're not ignoring the technical, the tactical stuff, what shows up in tickets. That's all part of the day. All right. But we've got to make sure that it's going to be the most value to our clients. All right. So I'll wrap up with that. Hopefully you guys saw some stuff in there that was helpful. Again, a little bit of this is theory, but more than anything, I want you to check yourself. I know many of you do this. Okay. We talk sometimes because we talk to so many MSPs that are doing it wrong. To be honest, I know a lot of you guys are. And so you may be looking and go, yeah, Skip, I'm already doing that. Okay. I appreciate it. Maybe that's the pat on your back, the affirmation that you're on the right focus, but maybe there's someone else in your group that they just aren't getting it. Make use of our community updates. This will be in our YouTube channel here in a couple of days. So maybe you send this out to that new account manager that you hired, or that junior account manager who's been kind of struggling and stuck in the technical stuff, and say, hey, listen to this. All right. The guy's got a Texas twang and his voice sounds awful, but take the elements out, and maybe a fresh, a different conversation with them will help them see the perspective on that they need to take when they engage with their clients. So we have this top-down approach rather than a building up from a technical basis. All right, that's it, everyone. Again, reinforcing the assessments. Stay on track. If you haven't got your services assessment done, go ahead and get it done. If you missed a client engagement where you were planning on diving into those services assessment, do it anyway. All right. Get what you can filled out in the background. That will allow you to really tackle this when you can. And at least everything that you have at least partially done will be able to feed in to the next step. I like to tell everyone, you don't have to start at square one. Okay. This is not a linear process where we do step 1, 2, 3, and 4. This can be done 2, 4, 1, and 3. All right. That is perfectly fine. But we do need all of these elements at least started, because they do work together. We do leverage them off of each other, and we're really able to scale this up to have more meaningful conversations with your clients. All right. You guys were really quiet on the chat. I don't know, maybe it wasn't me harassing Adams that generates that. I don't know, but I appreciate everyone showing up and enduring my wanderings and my voice today. We look forward to engaging with you guys next week. We will be moving into Q3 next week. So we're kicking off the security. Obviously, that's a big topic for all of us. We try to lead that up to cybersecurity awareness. We want to do a lot of things to get ready for a big cyber conversation with our clients. We are going to have to start early on that. You all know cyber is a big egg to crack. It's a long string of yarn. Whatever you want to say, there's a lot there, and we'll talk about some ways that we can manage that. To make that a little bit more palatable, a little bit easier, but it is going to be a big initiative. So take these last few days in this quarter to really gear up and get ready for the next one, but also make sure we've got as much done as we can for our Q1 and Q2 objectives. All right. Thanks, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.